Hello and welcome back to the review. For a look back on Aston Villa's defeat to Norwich City the other night, I am joined by Dan Bardell to go over and mull over what was an awful showing.
Still quite annoyed by it. It was just a dire performance. Like, it was back to last season, unfortunately. We just looked like we couldn't string three passes together, and we just looked devoid of any kind of ideas going forward. We looked a bit shaky defensively. And to be honest, I thought Norwich were crap, so we made them look like world beaters, but I actually thought they were crap.
No, you're right. It was an awful game of football from both sides, and I think I saw some sort of comment that was the fans are trying to bring the game to life, but on the pitch it wasn't lively at all. It was frankly awful from Villa. I think in terms of issues touched on, the passing was absolutely dire. The fact we didn't really attack was dire, and the fact that the defence looked like they conceded like 10 goals in the past 2 games or something. Like, it didn't look like the side that we'd started to see glimmers of under Bruce, and I think it exposed our main weaknesses still that we've still got, and clearly need patchwork in January.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to criticise and hammer the players because they have been pretty good recently, but the last 3 games have been slightly worrying. I mean, I didn't think the Leeds performance was great, but that was streets ahead of Tuesday. Same with the Wigan performance. I mean, it was a moment of magic that bailed us out of that game, but you're not going to have stuff like that go for you. You're not going to have a worldy strike from range go in your favour every week, and we didn't really create anything until the last minute when Codger had that shot. I genuinely don't remember us doing anything of note going forward. The midfield looked terrible. I mean, I obviously rate Ashley Westwood, but he's on a real bad run of form. You can see his confidence is absolutely shot, and in a 2, I don't think him and Jedinak are dynamic enough or got the legs, and we just looked like we were going to get overrun. So you could say the midfield's a problem and that the attack's not getting any service, but then Gabby didn't offer very much going forward. But then on the other hand, how much service did he get? Not much, but then it looked a bit like he was hiding behind defenders. To me, not really trying to get involved, playing it a bit too safe. I don't know what we can do. We're going to have a problem when Codger goes to the African nations. We just looked unbalanced again, like we did under Di Matteo, and I thought Bruce had found a system and a way of playing that didn't make us look unbalanced, but we've gone back to that for whatever reason.
Jonathan Codger looked out of sorts, but I think we can establish that Codger isn't a winger now, though. I think surely something's going to click now and say that he's not a winger, because he's not as productive. I don't know what was so wrong about it. We just didn't look up for it.
The annoying thing is that Norwich had been on a bad run. It was a chance, if we'd have gone 1-0 up, or even just started putting them under pressure at any point, their fans would have turned. I don't think they're particularly keen on Alex Neil at the moment. If we'd have got ourselves ahead or had a go, the fans would have got on their back and they'd have gone into their shell. But the opposite happened. We didn't have a go. We were devoid of ideas. We looked at rubbish, and Norwich, despite not being great themselves, managed to grind out a win. And in the end, it probably could and should have been more. But I can't put my finger on what's happened over the last 3 games that was any difference to what was going on before when we were on a good run. I think potentially we need to go back to 4-3-3. Potentially we need to get Bakuna back into central mid, and I don't think he's a great central midfield player, but he's at least got legs, and I think that's something that we're really lacking at the moment. I think that's what's causing us woes going forward and coming back the other way.
Aaron Tishibola's been totally out of the picture since Steve Bruce has came in. We've got Jordan Lydon as well, who's obviously an option, coming back to fitness, and of course Leandro Bakuna. We're going to be touching on, obviously, in the QPR preview that will come out in a few days' time, what we think we should go in for that game. But hypothetically, at this situation right now, do you drop Ashley Westwood? Because to me, he's been really bad recently.
I think his confidence is just shot. I think he knows the fans in general aren't particularly keen on him. He's been booed a few times this season, which I don't particularly agree with. I think there is a good player in there. People will laugh, but I genuinely think there is a good player in there. But now I think it's come too far, and despite the fact I like him, I think he'd probably be better off going. But on the other hand, I still don't think central midfield wise we've got anything that's much better than him, much superior to him. So it's difficult. I mean, all these managers keep picking him, so he must have something. That's at least 5 or 6 managers now who've continued to pick him. I mean, you can say our recruitment and our squads haven't been great over the years, but we've had options at other times, and Westwood continues to play. I think the time you saw him at his best was when he had Delph and Cleverley around him. That was a good midfield three that got us to the cup final and managed to survive when Tim Sherwood came in. I think played in the right system with the right players around him. There is a good player there, but at the moment we don't seem to be able to find it. And his confidence being on the floor is absolutely killing him.
The whole side just was lacklustre, and I just feel sorry for all the fans that did travel such a long way, long journey, and it continues that horrible statistic that I believe you worked out that we haven't won on Sky for 28 months.
It's 27 months.
And we've only won once away from home all year.
27 months without a win away from home on Sky.
Well, we can only hope it gets better when it comes to QPR. There will be a preview upcoming for the Advent series on Sunday for the QPR game. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you're dropping us a like below and commenting what your thoughts were on the Norwich game. I'm sure me and Dan have mulled over a lot, though, and what actually was so bad about that game. Anyway, subscribe to the video with post notifications on. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.